The Pentagon saying it is now investigating Democratic Senator Mark Kelly. He is a retired U.S. Navy captain, of course. The Pentagon accusing him of, quote, serious allegations of misconduct. Joining me now, Natasha Bertrand. So, Natasha, just walk us through how we got to this point and what we know about this alleged investigation.
Well, Erica, this all started because last week, 6 Democratic lawmakers, including Senator Mark Kelly, they posted a video on X urging service members to remember that they have a duty to disobey unlawful orders. And what these lawmakers said in the video was, quote, threats to our Constitution are coming from right here at home. And they repeatedly urged both the military and the intelligence community to refuse illegal orders. And they said, quote, no one has to carry out orders that violate the law or our Constitution. And they said, know that we have your back. Don't give up the ship. Now, this infuriated President Donald Trump, who repeatedly posted about it on Truth Social, calling those lawmakers seditious and treasonous and traitors. Now we are seeing that after President Trump told Fox last week that Secretary Hegseth was looking into this, the Department of Defense has now announced that it's going to be investigating Senator Mark Kelly, the only one of those veterans in that video who can be subject to the Uniform Code of Military Justice at this point, because he is the only one of them that is currently retired, and that all options remain on the table as the investigation progresses, including the possibility that he is recalled to active duty military service to face a court-martial. Erica.
And so in terms of Senator Kelly, he's now responding. What is he saying?
Well, he is pretty defiant, and he does not seem deterred by this. In a statement on X that was very lengthy, detailing his very extensive military service and career, he said, quote, if this is meant to intimidate me and other members of Congress from doing our jobs and holding this administration accountable, it won't work. I've given too much to this country to be silenced by bullies who care more about their own power than protecting the Constitution. Now, it's worth noting that any attempt to court-martial him could run into significant obstacles. His lawyer would probably raise issues related to undue command influence, given that Secretary Hegseth and President Donald Trump have weighed in directly on this multiple times, urging these lawmakers to face some kind of consequences. So it's unclear if it's actually going to get to this point, but it's certainly a message being sent to any retired senior officer that this kind of language is not going to be tolerated by the department, and they could be subject to an investigation. Erica.
All right. We know you'll keep us posted on any other developments. Natasha, appreciate it. Thank you. Also joining us this hour, former Marine fighter pilot Amy McGrath, who's running as a Democrat for a U.S. Senate seat in Kentucky. It's good to have you with us this hour. I'm just curious, your thoughts as we look at where things stand and the news that the Pentagon is investigating Senator Kelly for asking troops to defy illegal orders.
Well, the whole thing is ludicrous. Nothing Senator Kelly or any of the others who posted that video, nothing that they said was inflammatory. And the American public watching this needs to know that our military has not only, the military leaders have not only the right, but a duty to not follow through with any illegal order. This is long-standing tradition, right? And military officers are taught this at the lowest level. It comes down to this: Donald Trump does not own the military. The military's oath is to the Constitution. We don't take an oath to a political party or to one man. And, you know, unfortunately, Donald Trump is still learning this, in my belief.
You called this ludicrous. Secretary Hegseth, in criticizing Senator Kelly and the 5 other Democrats who are in that video, he said that this, quote, sows doubt and confusion. Yesterday, Senator Elissa Slotkin, who's also, of course, in that video, she said she was not, in her words, not aware of any illegal orders that had been issued by the president. Do you believe the video itself, as a former Marine, the video itself was appropriate?
It's a yes, because look, members of Congress, the military is not just responsible to the commander in chief, but also to Congress. And a member of Congress criticizing the president, or in this case, simply reminding military leaders of their oath, is 100% within the bounds of free speech, 100% within the bounds of the congressional oversight. You know, and they're allowed to do this. It's not against the law to state what the actual law is. So the whole thing is ludicrous to try to bring Senator Kelly back in and court-martial him. I mean, to say that he, as a distinguished veteran. I mean, he's not just any veteran. He's a combat pilot. He is somebody who's flown 4 space shuttle missions. And, you know, Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth trying to silence any criticism of what appears to be illegal strikes in the Caribbean. I mean, that's what they're doing right now. And they're threatening the power of the federal government against anyone who criticizes. And this is dangerous. So in my belief, if the administration's intent here was to use these threats against Senator Kelly to silence critics of their policies and to silence, you know, former officers in the military from speaking out, the administration's going to fail here in a big way.
Joining us now, Democratic Senator from Arizona, Ruben Gallego. Senator, thanks very much for being here. You and Senator Kelly, of course, both serve from the state of Arizona. What is your reaction to what has happened here? Have you spoken to Senator Kelly about it?
Of course, I spoke to Senator Kelly as soon as I heard it. I got on the phone and called him, of course, to remind him that I'm 100% here in support of him and that we're proud of him and like him, and I will not be intimidated by this president or any of his lackeys.
What is your sense of what the administration is trying to accomplish here? What can they do with this investigation?
Sure. Well, 2 things what they're trying to accomplish. Number 1, they're trying to intimidate members of the House of Representatives and Senate that were saying something that's very common and very well understood among people in the military, something that we hear in boot camp and in reminders when we're on active duty, that you don't have to follow illegal orders. It's something that is very much ingrained in our professional military. And the other thing he's trying to do is trying to distract the fact that he's weak, that he is having a tough time trying to get his healthcare plan together. The economy is weak. The Epstein files are about to come out. Everything that he's trying to do is trying to distract from everything that's going wrong in his life. And he basically only knows what to do a couple things whenever he hits a situation, to distract and to intimidate. And now he's trying to do both when it comes to Senator Kelly.
What is your understanding of why this group of Democrats put this out now at this point in time? What that is maybe happening in the world, what potential orders the president or those in the military following the president may have given that was so concerning that it needed to be done right now?
Well, look, I think a lot of them, and I certainly have heard from members of the military that are concerned about what's happening. And also, you're just seeing things that aren't very normal. You have the Marines who are walking around Los Angeles. You have National Guardsmen coming from different states into other states, even though those governors did not request that. You have a politicization of the military that has never been seen before until this president has done it. And then you also hear the president saying things that are, on its face, illegal. And let's not forget the fact that they're droning and killing people in the middle of the Venezuela, outside the coast of Venezuela, without declaring war and or giving us enough information for us to make a determination if they're even justified attacks. So what they're trying to say, and what many of us are trying to say, is remind people that, you know, you serve the Constitution of the United States. And if you feel that there's an illegal order, it is not your right to have to, you do not feel like you have to follow those illegal orders. Follow what you know of to your oath to the Constitution of the United States first.
Did you consider, why were you not part of this video?
Yeah, actually, so I was part of the first video. The second video is by the time the script got to me and it was in the middle of a lot was going on, I just didn't have time to actually record it, but I'm 100% in alignment with them altogether. This stuff happens, you know, it just happened not to end up being a recording. There's really no other, 3D chess to this.
The logistics of human life.
Yep.
All right, fair enough. So what message would you send to other veterans now about this particular moment in time, what they shouldn't be doing in this moment?
Well, I think you're talking about current military personnel, not veterans. But for current military personnel, just continue doing your job. Let the politicians fight this out. You know what you need to be doing. You know what is right, what is wrong. And should the moment meet where you find yourself being given an illegal order, then follow your gut, follow your instinct, and do what you're supposed to do to uphold the Constitution of the United States. For us, we're not going to be intimidated. This is just an act by a very desperate, cowardly man who's trying to distract from everything that's going wrong in his life, and he's trying to attack a patriot that has served his country honorably and still does.
To circle back to what may unfold from this investigation into Senator Kelly, what is your level of trust in the U.S. military justice system, if it were to get that far, to handle this?
I trust them actually a lot, and for a couple reasons. Number one, these are professionals. They are also swearing to the Constitution of the United States. They know that there will be fallout and consequences if they are used in a hard way to basically railroad someone like Senator Kelly, because Donald Trump's going to be gone in a couple years. And if you're part of the military that is going after sitting senators, sitting members of Congress, and part of the weaponization of government, there will be consequences, without a doubt. So I think there's going to be a lot of officers that are going to be part of this potential tribunal, if they want to call it that. They're going to be looking over their shoulders because they know that Donald Trump will be gone, and they will not have that protection. They're going to have to do the safest thing possible, which is follow the Constitution of the United States, and you'll be fine.
And lastly, before I let you go, what would you say directly to Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense, of course renamed the Secretary of War, about this issue?
Well, I think number one, you will never, ever, ever even be half the man that Senator Kelly is. You, sir, are a coward. And the fact that you are following this order from the president shows how big of a coward you are. And I can't wait till you no longer are the Secretary of Defense.
All right, Senator Ruben Gallego, thanks very much for your time today, sir. I appreciate it.